In this video, we'll prepare a full Week 5 cash lineup on the main slate on DraftKings and our favorite GPP stacks, and it's coming up next. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Lee.
And I'm Michael Wiley, and we're the Fantasy Football Consultants. Eric, we're getting more and more subscribers, but I want to see some more. So, folks, please hit that red subscribe button. Sound good?
Sounds good. Boy, Michael and I have been busy this week. We squeezed it in on a Monday to get out this video early Tuesday. So let's get right to it on the main slate.
All right, Eric, here we are. You know how we like to start. We like to go with the running back, and I'm going to let you get us started. Go for it.
It's intriguing, Michael, that Christian McCaffrey at $8,500. He's a guy on DraftKings who has such a high floor because of his involvement in the passing game. But boy, that San Francisco 49er defense, we just saw them shut down the LA Rams. I am going to instead go for two guys that are a lot cheaper who are in fantastic environments this week. They're both home favorites, and they both play awful run defenses. That's the good news. I'll give you the bad news in a minute. Who am I talking about? The good news is at only $6,300, let's get James Robinson in. And at $5,600, how about DAMIEN Harris? So we'll take them one at a time. You know, the bad side is both guys are a part of a committee. So, but I think the pie is going to be large. The thing about James Robinson is you can see that he performed a lot better in games in which the Jacksonville Jaguars have played most of the game from ahead. And game script wise, there's 7.5-point favorites here against, let's see, this is against Houston, I believe.
That's right.
And man, Houston has just been giving up fantasy points left and right. 2 weeks ago, 34 points to Khalil Herbert, a backup, and then 35 points to Austin Eckler. I mean, I can't imagine James Robinson not having a good game here, Michael.
Yeah, you got to remember, this Eagles team is one of the best looking teams right now in football. Jacksonville had a little bit of a tough time with them, but they did hang in there, and I got to believe that they're going to look strong against Houston. And James Robinson is still the workhorse for the Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot of folks talking about his production and how there was a miss last year. So, yeah, no, I really like this at $6,300. Nice bargain.
Yeah. We like Travis Etienne, and he's going to be more in the pass catching. But again, game script, they stay ahead. They'll rely on Robinson. The other running back is DAMIEN Harris. Again, another shared workload with Ramondre Stevenson. Here's the deal. Harris is the guy who's likely to get a little bit more carries, maybe a 60-40 split, and he will be the goal line back. Stevenson is going to get more involved in the passing game. So once again, you ask yourself, game script, do we expect New England to be ahead in this game? They are home. They are favored by 2.5 points over a Detroit Lion team that may have several guys still injured in this game. I think Harris is the back to go to. But by the way, if you disagree with us, Stevenson is $100 less. You can still go with him.
Yeah, I think these Detroit games have been high-scoring games. New England's going to have to find a way to keep up. I know that doesn't necessarily seem like it bodes well for the running game, but that's the way that New England keeps in games is through the running game. So I like that at that price.
I'm going to continue to save money at wide receiver. And let's talk. It's so fun to get to talk about Seahawks every now and then. And I think there's a chance in the right matchup, we'll talk a lot about the Seahawks because their defense is so bad that they are going to likely have to be throwing or having to put points up in one way or the other. And Geno Smith is doing an admirable job this year, and he likes to throw to both Tyler Lockett and his tight end and DK Metcalf. He does spread it around. But the guy I want to target this week is Tyler Lockett at $5,600 against the New Orleans Saints. So we're playing in a dome here, so weather is not a factor. He has been targeted in the last 3 games, an average of 10 targets a game. Not bad for $5,600. And you tell me if this is still a thing, Michael. But Marshawn Lattimore, who I know is getting up there in age, almost surely will be on DK Metcalf. So I think Tyler Lockett is someone who should have room to roam.
Yeah, you just stole my thunder. That's exactly where I was going to go. Lattimore still is a premier defensive back, maybe not what he used to be, but guess who continues to be as strong as can be, and that's Tyler Lockett. And Seattle has to throw the ball to stay in games. This is how they are going to compete right now. They had a nice win this last Sunday, and that's the way that they're going to compete in games. So yeah, I like Tyler Lockett, and let's go ahead and stay with this
and let me
game.
just say, in the Saints, historically and again so far this year, seem to do a better job with their rush defense than their pass defense.
Exactly. Well, what I was going to say before you ever so politely cut me off is let's stay with this game, save us a few more dollars, because I have an idea where we might go with another wide receiver who cost us some, and let's go with Chris Olave. He's really been a star the last couple of games. Again, the Seattle defense is atrocious, both, all around, but especially in the defensive backfield. And Olave's looked really special. He has benefited, significantly, Michael Thomas being out. I don't know if Thomas is going to be back this week, but I think the rumor is that this toe injury is the kind of thing that they might want to take another week off. And I think that Chris Olave, who's produced for now, basically every week, but certainly the last couple of weeks, it should bode well for somebody at $5,700. I can't believe he's this cheap.
Yeah, and a lot of different injury issues. You named one with Michael Thomas. The other one is at quarterback. Will Jameis Winston be able to come back, or will it be Andy Dalton? I'd prefer Winston, but he seems to have a rapport with Dalton as well. And it feels like the rookie here has passed Jarvis Landry in the as far as being a part of the offense. So if Michael Thomas doesn't play, you get a number 1 wide receiver at $5,700 against one of the league's worst pass defenses. All right, so this lineup is starting to take shape. I have another conditional. I mean, we're doing this on Monday night, so you're going to have to watch the news. But I talked about the fact that the Detroit Lions have been pretty banged up. And the question is, will Amon-Ra St. Brown play? And DJ Shark did not play last week. If one of those guys, especially Amon-Ra St. Brown, does not play, the guy I want to get in the lineup is Josh Reynolds. He has been fantastic when given an opportunity over these last 2 weeks. He's developed a little rapport back with his old buddy, Jared Goff. They both were former Rams. And again, the only issue is those injuries. If so, huge bargain at $4,900, Michael.
Yeah, no, I think that it appears that St. Brown is not going to play. That bodes really well for Reynolds. It also could sneak into the tight end position, but I don't think we can quite afford TJ Hawkinson with some of the other things we have in mind. But I have an option there for the team. But I really like Josh Reynolds. He looked good in this last game, especially. All
right. Well, why don't we have been pretty diligent so far with our spending. Why don't we go to quarterback? Tell us what are some of your thoughts at quarterback this week?
Well, until this last week, this pick that we're eyeing has not produced, and he didn't do so until really late in the game this last week. But what showed up for Tom Brady? That's who I'm talking about here.
Who's that?
It's 6,000. Yeah, my older statesman brother here, Tom Brady, who's still around and still, we're not sure what's going on in the family life there. But I think it became apparent that Tampa Bay just can't rely on the run. Kansas City did a great job stifling that. And Tom Brady said, okay, well, you think I can't throw the ball? Look what I can do. He got Mike Evans back. That obviously was a huge boon to him. I know Julio Jones didn't produce much, but he was back as well. So Tom Brady has a potential to do what he did last season, which is lead the league in yards throwing, and he does sneak in some 1-yard touchdown runs as well. So I think, going up against Atlanta, which is one of the worst defenses in the league, I think Tom Brady will throw the ball once again to show folks that he has that capability.
There's nothing wrong with Tom Brady, folks. Michael named Mike Evans to get him back, but he also got Chris Godwin back, which is huge. So given those guys in a great game environment, they have a ridiculously high 28 implied total. He's a home favorite, 7.5 points, $6,000. Michael, I want to imagine a scenario where Tom Brady, on Monday, maybe one of the things he do is in the morning coffee, he takes a look at the DraftKings salary and just says, hey, I wonder how much they priced me up. I'm a Hall of Famer. And he looks and sees Jared Goff at $6,100, more expensive than Tom Brady, even though Tom Brady is the one that has the much better game environment.
How about those 3 quarterbacks who are out that are priced similar as well?
Just an insult. This is now he played Sunday night, so it's possible that this salary came out before the end of the game, and like you said, Brady had a much better second half than first half. Regardless of the reason, $6,000 is an insult. Given he's facing, I don't know did we talk about how bad the Atlanta defense is? I mean, this is so yeah. All right, we've got Tom Brady in our lineup. So shall I talk about tight end, Michael?
Yeah, why don't you hit on it? I know we both really like this guy, so you touch on him, and then and let's hit the flex, and then I have an idea that maybe could be an option.
All right, what I would like people to do is to close their eyes. Come on, close them. I can see a few of you are not closing. Okay, close your eyes, and let me just tell you about. Imagine a tight end who is, let's say, a home tight end who in the last 3 games has averaged 7 targets. He's also hit the end zone and caught a lot of receptions. You're probably thinking, is this guy high 4,000s? No, he is only $3,800. DraftKings refuses to hike his price up much. It's going a little by little by little. All this guy has done is perform, and at the $3,800 price on a team that doesn't have a lot of offensive pass options, he's one of the top 3 targets on this team.
Yeah, and the Chargers are pretty tough on the run, so Cleveland's going to have to throw the ball. I know Jacoby Brissett doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence, but he looked really good 2 games ago. Not so great against Atlanta this last week, but pretty good against Pittsburgh. And a big part of his success has been going to Njoku. So I like this pick, and it allows us to spend some big dollars at the flex position, because everybody knows what we're going to do at defense, because we do it every week, pay down. So it allows us to go right to the very top, and at the flex position, get Cooper Kupp, who has continued to produce each week. Sometimes he has to do it in garbage time like he did tonight, if you watch the Monday night game. But, he's just week in and week out, one of the highest performers. A down week for him is a 16-point night. An up week is a 30-plus point night. And you just can't, you really can't find folks that do that regularly. So I do like a potential pivot. We talked about this, Eric, with Austin Eckler in the flex position, because that saves you $1,800, which you could spread around. But we went back and looked at some of our picks, and we didn't really know what to do with that. One spot I might take advantage of that is at the tight end position, and going with Hawkinson, going back to the reference to St. Brown being out. and Hawkinson looked really good this last week with St. Brown out. So you could go at that combination. I personally feel a little bit better about this combination just because Cooper Kupp has so much potential to hit the 30s, and really no one else is doing that consistently. So that's what we ended up doing with our dollars here.
Yeah, what we want is a high floor, and it's amazing. This you tell me that the Rams, they don't have the Rams result here, but we just watched it on television. They didn't score a touchdown. They only scored 9 points. So you're thinking, oh, obviously Cooper Kupp couldn't have a good game. All he did was catch 14 passes for 122 yards. So he got the bonus. 14 automatic points for the point per reception. Man, he just has such a tremendous floor. But I will say, if Amon-Ra St. Brown is out, which absolutely helps out the tight end Hawkinson, then it's something to consider if you want to pivot to go up from Njoku to Hawkinson and down from Kupp to Eckler. Shall we talk defense?
Yep. What do we have left, Eric?
Let's get defensive. We've got a whopping $2,500, which means we don't really have to go dumpster diving with the Cardinals and the Falcons. We can get a more expensive bird in the form of the Seahawks, but I'd rather go with the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Especially in light of that this Ram team is struggling. And by the way, there's nothing wrong in cash with having a wide receiver against the defense. That's fine, especially when one of them's Cooper Kupp. But this Ram offensive line has given up. They're in the bottom. They're in the bottom third in sacks given up this year. I don't want the Seahawks. Seahawks, get out of here. I want the Cowboys. While Dallas has almost 4 sacks a game. They have some playmakers on this defense, Michael, that could turn out to give us some points.
Yeah, I mean, the Dallas defense has looked great. Look what they've done in every game, keeping the score low. And even in their loss, they only gave up 19 points to Tampa Bay. So they look good. And the Rams offensive line, who looked atrocious again tonight against the Niners, are, I think, perhaps the worst offensive line right now because of some of the injuries that they've had happen to them. So you got to take advantage of that, and I think the Cowboys will. So I really like this pick at $2,500.
All right, so that's our cash lineup. On the show, as you guys know, we'd like to give you some GPP stacks to consider. Michael, what are you thinking in starting your lineup with a GPP stack?
Yeah, so I still want to attack this Tampa Bay game. I think Brady's going to be throwing the ball. Evans has clearly been his number one target right now, and not just for pass catching, but also in the end zone. Always has been that way. He's just such a big target. And having some of these other guys back makes it more comfortable for Evans to get the ball against Atlanta. And running it back with Pitts, who hasn't quite performed at the level, but he's nice and cheap. And I still think he has the most upside, especially at that price for everyone on the Atlanta Falcons.
Michael, what's going on? What is going on in Atlanta? Why? I mean, this guy proved in his rookie year that he's a talent. Is it Mariota? Is it game plan? Why are they not utilizing him that more? It's not like they have a ton of other great weapons. That's my first part of your question. And the second part, potentially with Patterson now out for this game, he's on the IR. They might have to rely on Pitts more, because who else do they have besides Drake London?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's by far the most athletic, and just tight ends, traditionally will draw linebackers. And so that really helps out. I think it's a big miss on the part of the coaching. You really got to make sure guys like this get their targets. And it's not just the misses by Mariota. I mean, obviously he had good targets in the second game there, but it's got to be game planning. And I think that will change. Atlanta somehow 2-2. Going to get beat up by Tampa Bay this week, but going to be throwing the ball is part of that.
I don't know. Sometimes I criticize your stacks. I'm not criticizing this one because, first of all, you saved some money in this stack. Again, we talked about Tom Brady's too cheap. We talked about that in cash, and you either go Mike Evans or Godwin. You can even do both if you want. Godwin is not that expensive, and then you're going to run it back with either a Drake London or a Kyle Pitts. So great start. You have some money to fill out your rest of your lineup. So great job. There's Godwin, 5,900. When available, we'll put on your screen our week 5 FanDuel cash lineup and GPP. And until we see you next time, take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.